Did you know that gray divorce rates for adults over 50 have actually doubled in the US since the 1990s? It's true. Or how about this? Around 20% of adults in midlife say they feel depressed or anxious, often because of all the huge life changes this time of life can bring. It's a lot to take in, isn't it? You built a life, navigated its ups and downs, maybe even weathered storms that completely reshaped who you are. And now? Maybe there's a little whisper, or even a clear longing, for new love. But right alongside that hope, does a wave of hesitation, a shadow of old hurts, or a fear of the unknown sometimes wash over you? Is your heart truly, without a doubt, open and ready for a wonderful new chapter of romance? Midlife isn't just about hitting a certain age, it's a whole season of life, one that's rich with experience, wisdom, and often, a quiet strength you've earned. Finding love now isn't about trying to recapture those whirlwind romances from when we were younger. It's about seeking something deeper, more authentic, a connection that truly fits the amazing person you've become. But to welcome that kind of love, we first need to make sure our emotional house is in order. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. This is an emotional check-in, designed to help you gently navigate the steps to heal what needs healing, to really get how incredibly worthy you are, and to genuinely embrace the vibrant possibilities of romance that are out there waiting for you. We're going to talk about what it really means to be ready, not just on the surface, but deep down. By the end of our chat, you'll have a clearer picture of your own emotional landscape and some practical steps you can take to prepare for the fulfilling love you absolutely deserve. Let's be real. The thought of opening your heart again after past disappointments, after building and maybe rebuilding your life, can feel, well, overwhelming. Maybe you're still carrying the memory of a past relationship, the sting of a betrayal, or the dull ache of a love that just faded away. Perhaps there's a fear of falling into old patterns, or a nagging little voice of self-doubt that whispers, "Am I truly lovable? Or is it just too late for me?" These aren't just passing thoughts, they're real emotional hurdles that many of us face in midlife. Trying to ignore them, just hoping they'll vanish, is like trying to build a beautiful new house on shaky ground. Without this kind of emotional check-in, you might find yourself accidentally attracting partners who echo past problems, or maybe you'll unknowingly push away promising new connections before they even get a chance to grow. You could even miss out entirely on the deep, soul-satisfying love that is absolutely possible at this stage of life, all because your heart isn't truly available, even if you think it is. This isn't about blaming anyone or getting stuck in the negative, it's about realizing that to build a different future, we first need to understand and make peace with our past and our present. Before we can even dream of inviting someone new into our lives, it's wise to pause and unpack the bags we're already carrying. We all have them, experiences, memories, and feelings from past relationships that have shaped us. Some of these are treasures, lessons learned, cherished moments. But others can be heavy burdens, like unresolved grief, lingering anger, or deep-seated trust issues. Just acknowledging that healing might be needed is the very first, and often the bravest, step. It's about looking at what's there, without judging yourself, and understanding that these past experiences, no matter how painful, don't have to define your future. Forgiveness is a huge part of this. And it goes two ways, forgiving those who might have hurt you, and just as crucially, forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself for choices you made, for red flags you might have missed, for staying too long or maybe not long enough. This isn't about saying past behavior was okay, yours or theirs, but about releasing its grip on your emotional energy right now. Without this forgiveness, those old wounds can keep hurting, making it tough to trust a new partner and to trust yourself in a new relationship. It's also important to know that healing isn't always a solo mission that has to be 100% complete before you even think about dating. Experts often talk about two layers of healing from relationship difficulties. The first is the individual work you can do, maybe with a therapist or through self-reflection while you're single. This is where you start to process and understand those past experiences. But the second layer, relational healing, often really comes up and gets worked through when you start a new intimate relationship. Why? Because, as they say, what is hurt in connection often heals in connection. New relationships will inevitably touch on some of those old sensitivities, bringing them to the surface where they can finally be addressed and healed in a new, healthier way. The goal isn't to be perfectly healed, that's not realistic for anyone, but to be aware of your triggers and committed to not letting your past unfairly cloud your present. Try to stay in the present moment. Old fears and insecurities can really stop you from feeling at peace in a new relationship. Think about it, are you still holding on to bitterness from a previous breakup? Are there unresolved feelings that you might unknowingly take out on a new, undeserving partner? This part is about being really honest with yourself. It's about consciously choosing to put down the emotional baggage that's not helping you anymore, so you have room for something new and wonderful. Midlife is such a powerful, transformative time. You've gathered so much experience, learned incredible lessons, and chances are, you're a very different person than you were in your 20s or 30s. The path to being emotionally ready for new love isn't just about healing the past, it's hugely about reconnecting with who you are right now. This is where self-love becomes absolutely essential. When you truly make loving and accepting yourself a priority, something amazing happens. You become more patient, more understanding, and more compassionate, not just with potential partners, but, importantly, with yourself. This inner harmony creates a strong foundation for genuine connections. So, who are you today? Beyond all the roles you play, parent, professional, friend, who is the real you at your core? What are your non-negotiables in life and in a relationship now? What genuinely brings you joy and fulfillment, completely separate from a romantic partner? Sometimes, after long relationships or focusing so much on family and career, we can lose touch with these vital parts of ourselves. Rediscovering them isn't selfish, it's essential. People who are happy with themselves, know who they are and what they want, and have a good sense of their own independence have a much better chance of forming lasting, healthy relationships. This stage is all about investing in your relationship with yourself. What makes you light up? Is it a creative hobby, a passion project, spending time in nature, learning something new, or deepening the friendships you already have? When you build a life that you genuinely love, on your own terms, you bring a sense of wholeness and contentment to any new relationship. You're not looking for someone to complete you, because you already feel complete. Instead, you're looking for someone to complement your already rich and fulfilling life. Ask yourself these things: where might a lack of self-respect be showing up in my life? What opportunities are there right now for healing and strengthening my relationship with myself? When do I feel most in need of self-love and self-kindness, and how can I give that to myself? What might be blocking me from showing myself the love and respect I truly deserve? Embracing your authentic midlife self, with all your wisdom, quirks, and strengths, is incredibly attractive. It gives off a quiet confidence that naturally draws people in. It lets you approach dating not from a place of needing someone, but from a place of joyful curiosity and real connection. Our society, and sometimes our own inner critic, can be pretty loud about what love should look like and when it should happen. For decades, we've been fed stories that romantic love is mostly for the young. Midlife, according to these old scripts, is often painted as a time of decline rather than a vibrant new beginning. It's so important to consciously spot and challenge these limiting beliefs, both the ones from society and the ones we tell ourselves, if you want to open yourself up to the real potential of midlife romance. Are you holding on to fears that it's too late? Or that all the good ones are already taken? Do you worry about ageism in the dating world, or that your past experiences make you somehow less desirable? These are common worries, but they're often based on myths, not reality. Midlife isn't an ending, it's an evolution. In fact, many people find that love in their 40s, 50s, and beyond can be more honest, balanced, and deeply satisfying than anything they experienced when they were younger. Why? Because you bring more emotional maturity, deeper self-awareness, and a clearer understanding of your values to the table. This period is what some experts call the midlife unraveling, which can start as early as our mid-30s or go into our 50s. It's a time of questioning and rethinking things, which, while sometimes uncomfortable, offers an incredible chance for growth and more authentic connections. It can be reframed as midlife, a precious halfway point in our lives to truly discover and deepen self-love, letting go of shame and fear. This is a perfect time to refocus on relationships, both with yourself and with others, built on a foundation of wisdom and experience. Think about the stories you tell yourself about midlife and love. Are they empowering, or do they hold you back? For instance, a failed marriage doesn't mean you're incapable of love, it means a particular relationship ended, and from it, you've likely learned invaluable lessons. A string of disappointments doesn't prove you are unlovable, it might point to patterns that need a closer look or simply a series of mismatches. Your past experiences actually add depth to your emotional toolkit, making you more discerning and, ultimately, a more insightful partner. Challenge the idea that romance has an expiration date. It changes, it deepens, it wears different outfits, but its essence is timeless. By consciously taking apart these limiting beliefs, you create mental and emotional space for new, positive stories to grow, stories that confirm you're worthy of love at any age and celebrate the unique richness you bring to a midlife romance. As you've journeyed through life, what you consider a truly fulfilling relationship has probably changed. What you needed or wanted in a partner at 25 is likely quite different from what you value and seek today. Being emotionally ready in midlife means taking the time for some honest thinking about why you're seeking a partnership now. It's about getting crystal clear on what a healthy, vibrant relationship looks like to you at this specific stage of your life. Ask yourself some straightforward questions. Do I genuinely want a partnership, a true sharing of lives, or am I maybe unconsciously hoping a relationship will ease life's pressures or fill a void? Will contributing to a partner's life bring me joy, or am I mostly looking to be taken care of? Have I truly thought about my past relationships and what I've learned, or am I expecting a new partner to magically create a completely different, problem-free experience? There are no right or wrong answers here, only honest ones that will help you understand yourself better. Research actually shows that people who can clearly identify why their past relationships didn't work out are better able to build more satisfying, stable, and fulfilling romantic partnerships in the future. This clarity doesn't come from blaming anyone, but from emotional processing and learning. What were the dynamics in your past relationships? What were your core emotional needs back then, and were they met? More importantly, what are your core emotional needs now? Perhaps companionship, intellectual stimulation, shared adventures, emotional support, or a deep spiritual connection are higher on your list these days. Take some time to really picture what this new love would actually feel like, look like, and be like day to day. What qualities in a partner are now non-negotiable for you? Honesty? Kindness? Emotional availability? A shared sense of humor? Financial stability? And just as important, what qualities do you bring to a partnership? What kind of partner do you want to be? This isn't about creating a rigid checklist that a potential partner has to perfectly tick off. Instead, it's about developing an inner compass, a clear sense of your core values and desires that will guide you as you meet new people. When you have a well-defined vision, you're less likely to settle for relationships that don't truly line up with who you are or what you emotionally need. You'll be better at recognizing genuine compatibility when it shows up, and at walking away from situations that aren't right for you, with grace and self-respect. This clarity helps you date with intention, focusing on the quality of connection rather than just the number of dates. Once you've done that important inner work of healing, reconnecting with yourself, challenging limiting beliefs, and defining your vision, the next really important part is to cultivate an open heart. This means being willing to be vulnerable again, to trust again, and to believe in the possibility of a beautiful connection. However, an open heart in midlife isn't a naive heart. It's an open heart strengthened by wisdom and healthy boundaries. Emotional readiness means having a balanced self-awareness. This doesn't mean you're completely free of any unresolved emotions. That's not realistic for anyone. Rather, it means you're aware of any lingering trust issues that might need gentle handling, or unresolved feelings from the past that could accidentally get projected onto a new partner. It means recognizing if you have a pattern of clinging to unhealthy relationships or, on the flip side, running away when things start to get serious. Awareness is your superpower here. Setting healthy boundaries is a profound act of self-love, especially in midlife. It's about knowing your limits, communicating them clearly and respectfully, and protecting your time and emotional energy. This isn't about building walls to keep love out, it's about creating a safe and respectful space for love to grow. It means being able to say no without guilt to things that don't feel right, and yes to connections that honor your values and well-being. This also includes recognizing which relationships, even friendships or family ones, might no longer be good for your growth and being willing to create healthy distance from toxic situations. Realistic expectations are also key. The fairy tale romances we often see in movies rarely match real life, especially in midlife where lives are often more complex, with established careers, families, and histories. Love in midlife can come in many forms and might not look like what you've always imagined. Be open to surprises. The person who captures your heart might not fit the type you've always pictured. Focus on core qualities like kindness, respect, emotional maturity, and shared values, rather than just superficial things. Understand that every relationship will have its challenges. The goal isn't perfection, but a connection where both partners are committed to growth, understanding, and navigating those challenges together. Remember, too, that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's a courageous opening that allows for true intimacy. It's okay to have fears, but don't let them run your life. Approach new connections with curiosity and a willingness to be pleasantly surprised. By balancing an open heart with the wisdom of your experiences and healthy boundaries, you create the ideal conditions for attracting and nurturing a love that is both exciting and sustainable. Understanding what emotional readiness means is one thing, actively working on it is another. So, let's get practical. How do you actually do this emotional check and prepare your heart for new love? First, make ongoing self-reflection a habit. This isn't a one-and-done task but a continuous practice. Journaling can be an incredibly powerful tool. Ask yourself those important questions we've touched upon. Where is self-respect missing in my life? What chances do I have to heal my relationship with myself? When do I most need self-love, and how can I give that to myself? What might be stopping me from showing myself the love I deserve? Regularly checking in with your emotional state helps you spot patterns, triggers, and areas where you can grow. Some people find feelings will helpful to get better at naming their emotions, which leads to better self-understanding and communication. Second, actively work on your emotional intelligence. Romantic intelligence, which is part of EQ, is about being smart in love. This includes recognizing the emotions you're feeling in the moment, deciding whether to act on them impulsively or thoughtfully, and sticking through tough times in relationships. It means being able to manage challenging emotions rather than letting them control your life or unfairly affect your partner. Developing EQ helps with better communication, empathy, and overall relationship success. Think about reading books on the topic, or even seeking coaching or therapy to boost these skills. Third, don't be afraid to seek support. If you're struggling with past trauma, ongoing negative patterns, or deep-seated fears, talking to a therapist or a trusted counselor can be incredibly helpful. They can provide a safe space and professional guidance to help you through these challenges. Sometimes, just getting an objective perspective can shine a light on blind spots and empower you to make big emotional shifts. Remember that statistic about 20% of adults in midlife reporting depressive feelings or anxiety. Reaching out is a sign of strength. Fourth, practice intentional self-care that truly nurtures your emotional well-being. This goes beyond bubble baths and massages. It means doing things that genuinely refill your spirit, reduce stress, and connect you with joy. This could be mindfulness practices, spending time in nature, diving into hobbies you love, or connecting with supportive friends who lift you up. When your own emotional cup is full, you have more to give to a relationship. Fifth, consider a quick self-check like HALT. Originally used in addiction recovery, it's a simple yet effective way to see if your basic needs are unmet, which can make you more vulnerable to making impulsive or unhealthy relationship choices out of desperation. Before making big dating decisions or if you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, ask yourself, am I hungry? Angry? Lonely? Tired? Addressing these basic needs first can lead to clearer judgment and healthier choices. Sixth, take your time when you do start dating. There's no rush. Focus on really getting to know the person, their character, their values, rather than getting swept up in an idealized fantasy. See if you're compatible based on their behavior and consistency over time. Pay attention to how you feel around the person, respected, seen, and emotionally safe. Or anxious and uncertain? These practical steps aren't about reaching some mythical state of emotional perfection. They are about engaging in a conscious, ongoing process of self-awareness, healing, and growth that prepares you to meet a new partner from a place of strength, clarity, and genuine openness. Taking these steps, doing this ultimate emotional check-in, is a profound act of investing in yourself. By looking inward, by healing past hurts, by reconnecting with your authentic self, and by consciously shaping your vision for love, you are not just passively waiting for romance to find you, you are actively, powerfully creating the space for it to flourish in your life. This journey of emotional preparedness does more than just ready you for a partner, it enriches your relationship with yourself, and that's the foundation all healthy connections are built on. Imagine, for a moment, a future where you feel deeply connected to yourself, secure in your worth, and clear about what you desire in a partnership. Picture yourself entering new interactions with a sense of calm confidence, an open heart balanced by wise boundaries, and a genuine excitement for the possibilities ahead. Envision a relationship where you feel seen, heard, and cherished for exactly who you are today, with all the wisdom and experience you've gained. This isn't a far-fetched dream, it's a very real possibility when you commit to your own emotional well-being. You've navigated so much to reach this point in your life, the challenges, the triumphs, the lessons. You are, in this midlife chapter, a person of depth, resilience, and unique beauty. You deserve a love that mirrors that, a love that celebrates your journey and enriches your future. Are you truly ready to not just hope for it, but to consciously prepare for and welcome that kind of vibrant, fulfilling love into your life? If this emotional check-in has resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which of these steps or reflections feels most important or perhaps most challenging for you right now on your journey to new love and midlife? Share your insights in the comments below. Your experience could be incredibly helpful to someone else navigating a similar path. And if you found value in this, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell for more insights on navigating love, relationships, and the beautiful complexities of midlife. Stepping towards new love in midlife is a courageous and exciting adventure. It's a chapter that holds the promise of deep connection, shared joy, and wonderful companionship. Remember, emotional readiness isn't about achieving a flawless state of being, it's about awareness, self-compassion, and a genuine willingness to grow. The wisdom you've gathered, the healing you undertake, and the authentic self you embrace are your greatest assets. Trust in your journey. Trust in your capacity for love, both for yourself and for another. And trust that by doing this important inner work, you are opening the door to the vibrant, meaningful romance you so richly deserve. Thank you for joining me for this emotional check-in. Here's to your open heart and the beautiful possibilities ahead.